Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the No Money But Dreams podcast. Today, our guest is Fahad Kaleem, who is the founder and the CEO of K9 Marketing Content Creation.
K9 Unit.
K9 Unit.
Yeah.
Me and Fahad met actually around 4 years ago, I feel, in Burger 28 when we were going to actually work together on creating Burger 28's TikTok. I'll be honest, I didn't really realize the value back then of TikTok, but you were early on to see that there was something there.
You asked me, you're like, what proof do you have that these are actual views? What if they're just farming these views in China? I remember that. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, I remember you were sitting down with your business partner, Majdi, and you guys were pitching and talking to me. I mean, since that time, obviously, we all know that TikTok is the number one creator platform in the world, and obviously harnessing it has been beneficial for anybody who has done it.
Yeah.
You say in your bio that you make people go viral for a living.
That's what I do.
I think that is such a unique thing to say and the simplest form of explaining what you do. But
sorry.
But it's interesting, like, how do you actually pitch that to a customer?
So I thought to myself, like, let's first talk about the bio. I was like, what is the most descriptive sentence out there that can explain what I do on a daily basis? And if you think about it, my entire life revolves around working with people, businesses, individuals, whoever. And the end goal of whatever I do is to make them go viral. And when it comes to pitching this to clients, we've never really had a proper sales team or a marketing tool, I would say. Our clients going viral is kind of a chain reaction to bringing us more clients. From the first client in 2020, October, till today, it's been purely, like, I would say 70 to 80% word of mouth. I have one salesperson.
And he's kind of just there as like mascot.
He's just there, like he's positioned so good. He's positioned perfectly. Like, inbound leads coming in, he's going to take care of it. Outbound leads, he's trying every now and then. And when you see a portfolio with actual content going viral, it works.
Speaks for itself. Yeah. So you've amassed over 1.7 million followers on TikTok, which is
1.75, 1.8 as of now.
1.8 million, which is incredible, and around 200,000 or 250,000 followers on Instagram. Is there a correlation, in your opinion, between creating content on TikTok and then creating content on Instagram?
Instagram is like that salty friend that you had in school who just wants to copy everything that you're doing. And I think TikTok, so if you dive into the history of TikTok, you'll understand that they've been doing this algorithm thing for a longer time. They were first a news app, and then they transformed to the Musical.ly app, and then TikTok. So TikTok figured out how to make people get more reach without the whole follower constraint or without the whole I have to buy views thing. And so in my opinion, since TikTok was first on this, it is important for you to pass the TikTok examination, and then you can consider going viral on other platforms, because whatever goes viral on TikTok is almost 99% going to go viral on Instagram, but not the other way around. You might get a video with 2 million views on Instagram, but on TikTok it'll be stuck at 100,000.
However, if you were to get 2 million views on TikTok, the chances of you getting
99% of the time, it's either going to be double, halfway there, or almost the same.
Okay. Let's circle back. Where did you grow up? Where were you born? Where did you go to school?
I was born in the UAE. I grew up between Sharjah and Dubai. I mean, my school was in Dubai. My work life was in Dubai. I dropped out of college at a very young age. I mean, we just started freshman year, and I was in American University of Sharjah. I was doing electrical engineering. And I still remember the reason I did that was because my teachers from school convinced me that my goal was to be Iron Man. It still is. If you want to be Iron Man, you need to know how to do robotics. And what's the closest to robotics that's being offered as a major in the UAE? Electrical engineering. There was no mechatronics at that time, I think. And otherwise, I had to travel abroad, which I couldn't afford. I did horrible in my first year of university. My CGPA fell below 2, so they revoke your scholarship. I was out doing part-time jobs, got another admission into RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology in Silicon. Did well over there for a while. But now I was like 2 years behind my own age. Like people in my university in my batch were 19 and I was like 21. And I was essentially still doing part-time jobs. Those part-time jobs eventually became corporate jobs. Like I was working with some serious companies at a certain point. And yeah, towards like the second year, right before COVID, I dropped out.
Describe what that conversation was like with your parents. I presume, obviously, they were not so impressed.
My mom said she will kill me and herself and was crying. My dad was silently just observing the situation. My dad's pretty chill. He doesn't get pissed off that easily. He's more positive. And I asked my dad, I was like, 35 grand, 6 months. Can you afford it? Because that was the amount that they had to pay. And I was paying like 20 to 30% of my fees already. And it was hurting me because I remember I got an 8 grand check and I had to pay all of that towards the tuition. I was like, bro, that shit hurt. Because like I could have spent that on myself. I could have used that money for anything else. And I'm spending that on tuition only to go back to YouTube, learn everything that professor is teaching me again, and then not understand and fail. So I'm paying to fail. Why am I doing that?
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
It does not make a lot of sense at all. And then I find out like there was this one interview that I had. And in that interview, the guy made it very clear to me. He was like, you think that if you do electrical engineering, you're going to become like Tony Stark? And that just changed my perspective.
On everything.
Yeah, you can hire an electrical engineer. You don't need to actually graduate as one to do your shit. So yeah, I mean, I told them that this is what it is. This is my decision. I walked into my last, it was, they called them the winter semester. So it was the first semester of the second year. And I wrote nothing in the papers. I walked out after 15 minutes of every single paper.
Was this the exams?
These were the exams. These were the midterms of the first, like the final of the first semester of the second year. I swear I would go into the paper. It was Calculus 3. I would write the question in the answer, finish in 15 minutes, walk out. And the professors I was close with, I went and I told them, I was like, you're never going to see my face. Don't bother checking the papers. I don't write anything in it.
And little did they know every time they open Instagram or TikTok, they have to see your face.
I mean, I dropped out. I dropped out not knowing what would happen next.
So you didn't have a plan B at the time?
The only plan was the job that I was going to do in the media company. Nothing else. Okay. Empty.
And was that a scary point in time? How did you deal with that? You obviously had made your decision, right? That you were going to leave university. You obviously had your mother saying that she was going to kill herself and obviously completely disproving. Were you worried?
I don't remember being worried.
Were you scared? Nothing? It was just kind of like...
I just remember... because okay, so I think it makes sense now. I was already working since the age of 17. So I was already in the rhythm of going to work, getting cash, and then using that cash to live. So when the dropout situation came, I was almost prepared by life that, okay, this is just what I'm made to do. Like, I'm just going to be going to work tomorrow. Like, it's a normal thing. And university is just getting in my way. I didn't like how the education system was from the beginning. Like, I just didn't like studying anyways. So it was more of like a relief when I dropped out. Like, I don't have to worry about studying. I don't have to worry about going to college, showing up to class. So I wasn't worried. But I do remember the first 3 months of after me dropping out and me not making any money was slowly starting to get to me. And then I made my first commission, which was like 1,000 dirhams. I was like, yes.
Thank God I don't have to pay university.
Yeah, this 1,000 dirhams is mine, you know? But it wasn't the money I was chasing even then. It was just survival, honestly. Like, what do you do when your family can't afford to pay for you? You have to figure out your own shit.
Yeah. And I think that puts you in a unique situation to figure it out.
Yeah. And so I was just like, I had good friends around me, people who were also working. So I had this good culture also growing up that everyone's just working and everyone's just taking care of themselves. So we were having fun. We were working. We were making money. And I really didn't care what would be the outcome at that point. I was too young. I was like 21, 22. I don't know. Yeah.
So then you started K9.
Yeah.
Then you started K9.
So K9 started exactly 1 year after I dropped out.
Okay.
Well, it didn't start after 1 year I dropped out. The inception of the whole, what do you call it? the activity that we do in K9 started 1 year after I dropped out. And it came from actually one of my existing clients of where I was working. So the issue was that in Dubai in general, marketing companies don't know how to market. They've been using the exact same practices for the last 10 years. Social media management, photographer shows up with a professional camera, takes pictures, takes videos, done. What do we do next? I need to put this on.
No problem.
We're going to run ads on that content, and that's the only way you can get reach.
So it's not organic.
I didn't even know what organic means or inorganic means. I'm talking about a time where I was working in a company and I was seeing what the market is doing. People are paying between 3K to 15K to 20K. And this is what you do. You bring a professional camera, you make a video, or you make a nice, you take nice pictures. That's it. And this was harming some of the clients that I had. Like, I remember people not knowing what to do. I didn't know what to do. I came from electrical engineering. Like, I was learning digital systems. I was learning how to put, I don't know. I was learning physics. I was learning calculus. I didn't know shit about marketing. All I knew was content in general. I was on Twitter. I was active on Twitter. I liked tweeting. I liked making memes. That's all I knew about social media. And so, and the other side of the whole story was influencer marketing, where you pay an influencer X amount of money and they come and market you. So this was what marketing was in the UAE. And TikTok had come out around 2019, and I was on TikTok 2020. Right when I started working in this media company, I had joined TikTok as well. And on TikTok, what I saw was you could post any video from your gallery and it was getting 30,000 views. I was literally picking up videos from 2015, 2016, posting it, and it was getting viral. Viral in the sense it was getting 10,000 views. I had no followers. And it didn't make sense to me, honestly, even at that. Nobody cared. So I forgot what the question was, but that's essentially how I realized that there was a gap.
So you had this aha moment where you thought, why should we have to pay for reach when we could create and be the influencer, essentially?
Well, the aha moment came when the client told me that he's sick and tired of working with my company and doesn't want to continue this whole activity. And a few months later, after I had resigned, he was like, why don't you come and make TikToks for me? And I was like, what is this guy asking me to do? Like, I make TikToks for myself where I'm either that Jin character or I'm doing stupid skits. And then when I started doing it, within 27 days, when my first video got 7 million views, that was the aha moment. And that video was just a video of a jacuzzi, which was for 7 seconds long with the right music in the background. And in 24 hours, it blew up to 5 million, 48 hours, 7 million. And different interior designing companies were reposting it. I was like, holy shit, what the hell have we been doing this whole time?
So describe the feeling of getting that first paying customer. So obviously he had approached you and said, do TikToks. In the beginning, you were like, I'm not really sure. And then you did it. But how was that to actually, you created everything and got paid for it? You know, you weren't working for somebody else.
So I was looking at it as another part-time job. I didn't even know that I'm doing like an actual business at this current time. Like for me, I had left my company and I was now jobless, and this was like another part-time job for me. This was actually the first time in my life where I was doing something that I liked and I didn't know that I'm doing it for money. I remember calling up Majdi and I'm like, bro, they're asking me how much I should charge them and I don't know what to say. Is 1,000 dirhams too much? And Majdi's like, are you stupid? Bro, at least 3,000. And I'm like, yeah, but isn't that too much? And then we negotiated for a while and then we closed at 2.5 for 30 videos. And we were like, that's so much money. Like, what are we doing?
It's only 30 videos.
Yeah, like 30 videos. I'm going to finish it in a week. Like, it's nothing. And I used to wake up at like 10 in the morning, go there by 11, leave by 12, and my day was done. And I planned my entire life like that. I was like, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. I'm going to wake up at 10, I'm going to finish by 1, and I'm done for the month. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to make...
I've made it.
I'm going to make 2,500 dirhams a month, and that's all I need. Life was so good.
How have things changed to now?
They say more money, more problems. They say right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Is there a formula to go viral, in your opinion?
There's no formula. Because if that video with the jacuzzi went viral without me knowing, that means there's no formula. Till date, there's no formula, and there can never be a formula because you're betting against over 1 billion people's behaviors, attitudes, personalities, likes, dislikes. How can you possibly predict what people are going to like with 100% success rate?
So, okay, 100% success rate, no. And obviously, I know very well from you that you don't guarantee virality.
Never.
But as we discussed earlier in this conversation, at the end of the day, your work precedes you. Yeah. You manage to hit the nail on the head, regardless of the industry, regardless of the person. Is there not some kind of pattern or something, or are you just able to tune into the algorithm, you think?
Usually we only do this when clients, on board and we do the consultation with them. I'm just kidding. There are structures, definitely. Like there are certain things, like I said, you can't predict with 100% success rate, but there are certain things like that a group of people like. So some of them being like, if you were familiar with the how much do you pay for rent trend,
of course,
recently, or what do you do for a living, or I don't know, if I have 5,000 dirham salary, can I get an apartment in so and so property? Like these kind of structures are liked by a certain group of people, and if you restructure them and if you remodify them, you can keep making people go viral. But these structures might work for some people and they might not work for some people. And that's why it's always important, instead of looking for patterns, look for your own niche and create a pattern out of that. And that's what I did for myself.
Isn't that concerning?
Isn't that concerning?
So in general, you create videos in exchange for monetary amounts of money, right? That's your deliverable is I create X amount of videos. Don't you think that you're in a position where people can just easily copy you? How do you maintain a competitive advantage as K9, as Fahad in the market?
This is a challenge that we're daily trying to solve. I mean, you can obviously work with us for a couple of months and then go like, okay, I have figured it out. I'm going to do it myself. But to me, I think that's the goal. We want people to figure it out themselves eventually, because there are so many more people who need this problem solved for them. It'll just allow us to work with more clients eventually. And if I'm going to sit with this mentality with the current business that I have, that no, I need this client to stay with me for the rest of my life, then I personally feel like I'm being greedy. Maybe this is not good in a business perspective, but I feel like with the vision that I have for content and with the objective of becoming Iron Man, I can't be sitting here and making people go viral for the rest of my life. I have maybe give or take 20 years, 35 years before my brain stops working. I mean, according to some people, my brain doesn't work anyways. But so I have to really utilize my time in the coming years and in the near future in figuring out how and who to solve this problem for. And part of this is a business, but a huge part of this is my passion.
Would you call yourself an artist?
It's debatable, because the word artist is so subjective. Like people can throw a banana on a wall and call themselves an artist. So in that sense, yeah, I mean, if anything is art, then yes.
Yeah, you're creating something. It just happens to be an expression through video.
Yeah.
What would you say your mission is? You kind of touched on it earlier that, you have a business. Obviously, the business needs to be profitable. Otherwise, you can't pay 100%. Your staff, you can't pay yourself, you can't take care of your family. But money isn't the only thing that's driving you. So there must be kind of a deeper mission of what you want to achieve.
I want culturally for our side of the world to stop copying the other side. Bollywood copied Hollywood. We speak, wear, and try to look like the people from the West, in the Middle East, Asia, and on this side of the planet. I want to reach a day where I open my phone and we are inspiring trends, cultures, content in general for them to copy. And I think to achieve that, I have to promote a culture of creating content and being unique. I think today, as we are speaking right now, everyone copies, including ourselves as well to a certain degree. But very few people are creating, almost non-existent. And the reason for that is because I have felt that creativity in general is not cherished or encouraged in general over here.
But at the end of the day, and I've felt this, you can create a structure, let's say, that will go viral, and it goes viral. And then when you try and be unique and create something that could be more, I don't know, creative, it doesn't get the views.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or you don't like it, the points in this game are views and followers.
Yeah.
That's the only metric that you can measure if I'm better than you or you're better than me. And at the end of the day, human beings are always trying to figure out where do they stand in the hierarchy. So what would you say to somebody who's aspiring to be a content creator or is a content creator, and you obviously want them to go in the direction of your mission, which is for us as an area of the world to be the people who create that culture instead of copy. But then every time somebody's trying to do that, it doesn't get them the reach or the numbers that they want.
Most of the cases where people are trying to do that and it's not working out for them is because their objective and life mission is not the same as what I'm trying to preach over here. They are only doing it because they want to be famous or they want the views. They don't care about the content. They don't care what the audience is going to get from this. They care about the views, the likes, and these are the only metrics that they can measure themselves for. So when they don't get that, they give up. So if you are with that mentality, don't try it.
You can't win.
You cannot win in a game where there are hundreds and thousands of creators every day trying to compete with you. But if you come in with the mentality that I don't care if I win or lose, I just love the journey of creating. And whether someone watches this content or not is secondary. Even if I have 5 people who are my fans, that's more than enough. Then you can win. Because then your objective is so different from the people that are competing with you that you're on a different level. And I've seen that with my content. Scroll on my page and find me one trend that I've copied. I have created a trend. And I created that trend not because I was copying other people. I created a trend because to me that was funny. To me, saying that if you add blue food coloring to a glass of water, it turns blue. And instead, if you were to add yellow food coloring to a glass of water, it would turn yellow. Isn't that concerning? To me, that is funny.
That is concerning.
And it is concerning. And because it is concerning to me, and because I make it believable like that, people also believe it.
Because you're authentic also.
So you'll see that in content creators today. The ones that are authentic stand out. The ones that are copying and are only doing it for the sake of it or for monetary reasons only, there's no place for them. The future is all about raw and authenticity.
Are you successful?
I think so, yes.
And how do you measure your success?
If waking up every day and doing what you love, and then when you go back home, you get to play Call of Duty with your friends is what makes you happy, then I think, yeah.
You've nailed it.
Yeah.
Would you say that you chase money?
I would say that growing up in the corporate world of this country, I had many opportunities to make more money in different ways, but I didn't go for them purely because that is not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I think I chase comfort and peace of mind. And to achieve comfort and peace of mind, I need to be doing what I love doing. And of course, I need to be making money to a certain degree. Like everyone has their preferences, wants, needs. You need a car, you need a house. So you can't live without money, unfortunately. I hate money. I just don't like the whole topic about money. Makes me feel sad because our world is so attached to this.
It's unbelievable, especially on social media, how attached. And I feel the younger generation as well. They want everything now. They want it ASAP. And it just takes a long time to build any business and build any reputation,
If I could make certain people go viral on TikTok for free, I would. In fact, I would do it for free for everyone if money was not a topic of concern and if money didn't pay the bills. If making people go viral got me food, water, Call of Duty, friends to live with in a house, everything as a barter. If my whole life was a barter around making people go viral, I would do it.
That's noble, man. That's a nice answer.
Literally, like yesterday I was talking to someone. I was like, man, let's go to this dude who can't afford it and make him go viral. Because I feel like he deserves to go viral. Like I feel like his story needs to be heard. But everyone is so lost in the construct of, I need to have the nicest watch, the nicest car, the nicest house. I need to have the nicest clothes. It's sad.
Yeah, and everybody gets completely lost in it, and they lose the whole point of happiness, which is, as you said, waking up in the morning and being happy to go to work and do what you do, and then come home and be content to do that as well.
I don't think you can ever be 100% happy in this world, in this life. It's an imperfect world that we live in. You know, even if you're the richest man and if you have an ache in your back, you're not going to be happy. Like if you're Bill Gates and your teeth starts hurting, like you want to go to the dentist and then the dentist tells you this is going to take a while, this is going to take 3 weeks, you're screwed, right? So you can never be fully happy, but then at least you can be at peace with yourself, knowing that you're doing the things that you want to do.
Definitely. And I think that ultimately is happiness. You need to take care of your physical self and your mental self and kind of detach yourself from what the rest of the world is expecting from you or cares about.
It's a tough balance.
It is, definitely.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about you?
About me? That I am autistic or I am retarded. Like
I can vouch he's not.
I have people who DM me, you are an idiot, you should go back to school. Did you know that you don't have to actually mix the blue food coloring? Like people are actually explaining to me my videos back.
Just to let you know.
The video that I made about this, the camera's lens being a circle and this, like, why is the picture a rectangle? I have a person who tweeted to my Twitter in a page, a A4 size page with a drawing showing the diagram of how a camera works, because they were genuinely concerned that I don't know how it works. Now, that's beside the fact that I didn't know how it works.
Yeah, exactly. So you were like, actually, I'm very thankful that you were able to
that was knowledge for me.
Thank you so much.
But that was not the point of the video. The point of the video was like, this is a concerning fact, and we just miss out such simple details in a daily life that we live in. You know, like everyone has a camera, but no one thought about this.
Why do you think that content that you created there actually gets so many views? What value are you bringing to people?
My content is, the only value point is wasting people's time and giving them something to talk about. It's entertainment. It's a form of reality show, a drama. Some people find it funny, some people hate it, some people love talking about it. Like if you go in the comments section, you'll find people debating for hours with each other. Like once I made a math equation, which is 50 plus 50 in brackets multiplied by 0. It caused so much chaos amongst, like, so many mathematicians showed up, wannabe people.
Elon was there. No?
Yeah, like, no, it is 0. And the other people are like, no, it's 100. And that's not the point. That my videos are a testament to how asleep people are.
I think it's how asleep people are. And then also for me, every time I see it, it gives me like 15 seconds of taking me away from reality. You know what I mean?
It's
taking
subjective.
me to another world where I can just have a giggle and then I'm back into the real world.
Like I said, I do it because I like doing it. If I was doing it for the people, I would be many other creators out there.
How did you fall on this exact kind of structure, or this being what you are as like your token brand?
1.5 years of trial and error, a lot of testing, a lot of different content styles. And then there was one client that I was working with, who I was looking at today in the morning, and he would speak pure motivation. Like you turn on the camera and this guy he's so wise. Okay. And he was generally speaking like good information, like the purpose of life, how you should be in your workplace, and etc. I remember once, this is around when Gary Vee was popping off. I was sitting with my sister and we were just planning, like, what do I shoot? How can I be different? It's like 12 in the morning, 12 a.m. And I go like, record me. Like I literally put the camera like this on a book with a selfie cam, and I started talking nonsense. The next day I woke up, posted the video, it got 30,000 views with strong engagement, 100 comments, 80 comments, a lot of shares, a lot of saves, and people were like, bro is onto something, bro is speaking facts. It's like, let's do it again. Did it a third time. 5th, 6th, 7th time got 18 million views.
Wow.
It was from that point, I was on 150,000 followers. I jumped to 600,000 followers in 3 months. Fast forward. And by the way, when I reached 600,000 followers, it kind of when it plateaued.
Tapered off.
You know? Because of course, you can't keep milking the same content till you evolve it. So I saw a bunch of people. I've seen Joe Rogan for a while, but then I saw this specific account. I'm going to name them Jumpers Jump Podcast, where they go like, yo, did you know? Like they do these conspiracy theories. I was like, okay, I'm going to make fun of them. So I made fun of them. So what I would do is I would open Gary Vee's videos. I would open motivational videos, and I would then say the same speech in a nonsensical way. So then I went to these podcasts and I would look at them, and they were talking about some theory about some Smurfs. So I just restructured their whole speech. I was like, did you know that if you walk left, right, straight, a Smurf pops up out of thin air? And people started liking that. So that was like right 3 months after I was doing the motivational, I got the podcast. But then I stopped doing the podcast because the motivational had so much milk to milk out of it still. So I continued on that till like the end of that year. And then I slowly brought the podcast in with Podster. In fact, over here, I remember my first set of videos that were popping off was shooting in Podster. And now so I realized something else. If I would have continued on the motivational bandwagon, it would have had a second rise, which I missed. Because with the podcast, I've been going for longer than a year. With the motivational niche, I went for just 7 months. And I got sick of it because people were saying, you're repeating content, you're not doing anything new. But I fell into that trap. And I fell into a creative block. But with the podcast, I didn't listen. I went deeper and deeper and deeper. Like it's almost like trying till you figure it out. And now it's blowing up again. Like my latest video beat all my other videos to at 20.3 million views.
Is that the most views you've ever gotten?
No, I've got 50.5 million views. And that wasn't on my page. That was on my second page where I was trying to sell a mask.
I remember that.
And that was a trend. Like it was a sound of some other creator, and I just reused that sound, and it got 50 million views.
So the most views you ever got was 50 million. If that many people see you, where do you think the value lies? Number one. And number two, what's one of the craziest people who's DM'd you?
Okay. If tomorrow my business fails and everything shuts down for me, and I go start working in a Starbucks, I automatically have more leverage against every other Starbucks employee ever worked there.
Except for Timmy over there, who's got 2 million followers, and you only got 1.8.
Except for Timmy. So that's one, right? I automatically have leverage in the world that we're going to. Because our world that we're moving into...
Are we there or we're going to?
We're at the beginning. The new generation needs to grow up and take the seats.
Is that Gen Z or is that Gen Alpha?
Gen Z. Gen Z needs to take the seats. And when Gen Z takes the seats, they're all going to be all about what the real deal is. Okay? And you're not going to be able to sell to Gen Z if you don't speak their language. You're not going to be able to sell, or you're not going to be able to work because you're going to be old. You're going to be 70 and you don't know how your wheelchair works because it's a different language, right? So the sooner you adapt, the sooner you marry the whole concept of Gen Z, the better it is for you. And I forgot the other question. I'm sorry.
I forgot the other question as well.
You said something about how does that make you feel, or
no? Where's the value there?
Where's the value?
That you discussed the value, but who's one of the most famous people that's reached out to you? Obviously, if that many people, and we all know that content in English, if it does blow up, goes to the US.
I've had a few creators that are very big within the comedy world. I had this guy who was famous for the orange suit. I forgot his name, Jason. I don't know his name anymore. But he was famous for his orange suit, and he would have the call out my name weekend song playing. That was a meme, and he DM'd me. I had Ryan Air comment on my post.
Oh, wow.
I had someone from Will Smith's team reach out to me recently.
And recently you had that kid.
That kid, Matan Even, who wants to collaborate.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
To think that you can have that reach sitting...
All of these were US people, by the way.
Exactly. But imagine having that reach sitting in a small city in the other side of the world, just creating content.
That is the power of content.
For sure.
So, yeah.
What makes you angry?
What makes me angry when people claim that they can do something, but they don't know how to do it.
Give me an example.
Pure purpose of... I'm better. I don't know, man. I've had people leave my company, okay, do the exact same thing and then pretend like they invented this shit. it makes me angry, but at the same time, it makes me happy because imitation is the best form of flattery.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a mixed feeling. I am a very hard person to anger. I mean, if I have to be real with you right now, what makes me really angry is when I'm in the heat and I don't have AC.
I couldn't agree more, man.
I think that's like
the worst.
That's
thing.
the worst feeling, and I'm in that feeling a lot because I'm in and out of places. And I mean, I don't get angry a lot because I'm so into my own bubble of weird thoughts.
Last and closing question is, what is the luckiest thing that ever happened to you in your life so far?
The luckiest thing that ever happened to me, does it have to be like in terms of business or like life?
Can be literally anything, man. Something that happened that really made you feel like you were really lucky. Besides being on this podcast with me.
I'm trying to think, man. I think the luckiest thing that ever happened with me is dropping out of college at the right time. Because if I dropped out a little late, or if I dropped out a little early, life would be so different. And I think I'm grateful, I'm extremely lucky to be in that environment at the right time, because everything is like a butterfly effect from there.
And fell into place.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the podcast. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.